There's no Eric Tinkler in the Barnsley lineup. He played sweeper in their last match. That was the 5-0 defeat at Arsenal. And in John Hendry's continued absence with a hamstring injury, Andy Liddell partners Ashley Ward up front. Now, there are some familiar faces in the Southampton team. Carlton Palmer is back in Yorkshire for the first time since his move from Leeds. Kevin Davies, the former Chesterfield striker, is up front. And Simon Charlton, once of Huddersfield Town, is one of the wing-backs. So we join the game with Barnsley in their usual red shirts. They're playing from left to right, and the commentator at Oakwell is Steve Wilson.
Sheridan. Redfern. Barnard scrapping for it. He did well, Kevin Richardson. In a lively start. And that's no foul. And he's away, Darren Barnard, left-hand side, and he's got the cross in. And it was very nearly 1-0. And Southampton were a bit fortunate there. It was Darren Barnard who made the most of the mistake to get away down the left. Lovely left foot. And that was Liddell coming in at the near post, who just couldn't get the touch. Here's Letitia. A problem here. Oh, Letitia! What a goal by Matthew Letitia! What a goal on his birthday! That is absolutely magnificent. And Matthew Letitia has pulled out another beautiful goal. Well, that's his trademark. He's given himself 5 games in which to get back into the England squad. This is game 1, and Glenn Hoddle will sit up and take notice. Marvellous Letitia finish, and Southampton lead at Oakwell. And this is Neil Thompson for Barnsley, hoping to pull back that Matthew Letitia strike, and that wasn't a bad cross. And Redfern caught hold of that. And he might get the chance again here. Still Redfern, might come, and side netting. Ashley Ward, the wrong side of the post. Neil Redfern's persistence, and Ashley Ward had the opportunity. Sheridan might open up down the right flank. They've had some joy down there with Eden and Bullock, and now Ward. Decent try, and a very decent save from Paul Jones. Ashley Ward trying his luck from range, and it was worth it. Bullock and Eden with a potent combination down the right, and this is Bullock. That's very quick feet. That's Redfern, unlucky, and it's surely in, and it is. And Andy Liddell has put Barnsley level. Well, he could hardly miss, but Martin Bullock really did the hard work. It was super quick feet from Bullock inside the Southampton area, and it was deflected right into Andy Liddell's path. This is Neil Thompson. Chance for Bullock, and that's a good try. That was bending, not enough in the end, but he had no time to think about that, Martin Bullock. And he's had a good night. Oh, that'll be a free kick. Wonderful farm on Liddell, it's taken quickly. Bullock, space, Ward is square. Bullock looks for someone to square it to, and Barnard. Well over the top from Darren Barnard in the end. And Bullock didn't want to take the responsibility in the penalty area. And it was a far harder chance for Darren Barnard than Martin Bullock had created for himself. Markow. I think Paul Jones hit the sweet spot with that. But Lundekvam helps him out, and Dodd will bring it away. Evans flick, Davis, could this be it? Davis, and into the back of the net, and Southampton could be in round 4 of That's the run of play, but Kevin Davies sticks it under the keeper, and while Barnsley were down to 10 men, he's made them pay. That's a decisive finish from Kevin Davies, who is one of Southampton's stars of the season so far.
Well, Chris Kamara, that's a disastrous result really for Barnsley. Looking for some relief against a side that are also struggling in the Premiership. Things go from bad to worse really at the moment, aren't they?
It's typical when they've played really well tonight and they've come up against a great goal from Le Tissier, and then against the run of play, Davies has popped in the winner.
Well, here we can see the goal from Le Tissier. Of course, he's not in Hoddle's plans, but this is a fantastic goal, isn't it?
That's out of his repertoire of great goals, isn't it? He just flicks it over the defender's head, and that's an unstoppable volley. You can't blame the goalkeeper at all there.
But what does Danny Wilson do now to try and get things back on an even keel?
He's just got to stick to his beliefs. They've played well enough again tonight, and they've passed the ball around well. They've just not got the finish, and that'll come. You know, he's got to continue to believe. At this moment in time, everything that can go wrong is going against him, but he's got to stick with his beliefs.
Of course, he can't really go into the transfer market, we don't think.
He spent a few bob. He's got 1 or 2 players out injured. The tide will turn.
Like it did for you last season, of course.
Well, you've got to do things. You know, there's times when you think everything's against you, and you've got to have a go. And I'm sure Danny Wilson will be like I was last season, and he'll do everything in his power.
But what do you think the mood is going to be like in the Barnsley dressing room, very briefly?
Well, confidence will be very low. They need a win, and then it's one win seems to change everything.
OK, well, thanks very much for the moment.